Good evening. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2024, and the time is 7 p.m. This meeting of the Prosper ISD Board of Trustees is hereby called to order according to Texas Government Code Chapter 551. Representing the quorum this evening, we have Mr. Bridges, Mr. Dial, Mrs. Dixon, Mr. Cavender, Mr. Linker, Mr. Van Wolf, and myself, Bill Beavers. Mrs. Dixon, will you please pray for us?
Yes, let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for each person here this evening with a heart for this district. We thank you for allowing us to be in an area where children and their education and well-being are a priority. We are grateful for the accomplishments we're celebrating this evening and pray for the preparation for our future successes. We pray for protection tonight for our families across the district during this winter season, for their health and safety in any extreme weather that may continue to come. And for the families that have already been affected, we ask that our community have continued guidance on how we can help and support one another. As always, we ask for wisdom and discernment for the business matters before us this evening, and that every decision made will be in the best interest of our students and staff. And lastly, Lord, we remember and honor McKenna Johnson and the many lives that she touched through the love and dedication to those around her. We pray for her family and friends and for the Rushing and Hayes communities as they navigate this difficult time together. May they each feel your presence and the strength of unity and support of our school community. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Van Wolf, you have the vision for us this evening.
Yes. The board's vision is to ensure a safe and supportive educational environment that promotes academic excellence and opportunity, honors traditions, fosters student learning, facilitates effective recruitment and retention of talented educators, and grows all people at all levels.
Thank you very much. As always, this meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, which can be found in Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. All of our voting must be in public, but we can privately discuss certain items, including but not limited to matters regarding individual employees, individual students, land acquisitions and real estate, school safety and security, and matters requiring legal advice. However, after that private discussion, any final vote must be in complete view of the public. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, the agenda for tonight's meeting was posted for the meeting to view at least 72 hours before the meeting. Here on the screen in front of y'all, we've got some future dates coming up, and I will let y'all take a look at that. And then, hey, as always in Prosper ISD, we've got some celebrations.
Yes, we do. We have several. So I was going to ask our new Director of Transportation, Terry Buckingham, to come up with her family. We're very excited that she has joined the Prosper ISD family. Who do you have with you?
This is my son Tate.
Hi, Tate.
And my daughter Peyton.
Hi, Peyton. How are you? We're glad your mom's here. She's doing a phenomenal job. So just a little bit of background, 9 years in public school transportation. She actually began as a bus driver, and then route coordinator, field trip coordinator, transportation manager, assistant director, and director. And so we were very excited to be able to get her over into Prosper. So we're so glad that you're here. Thank you for sharing your mom with us. I don't want that ever to be lost, because I know there's a lot of phone calls that come in at night and just things that happen, and she has to take those, which means that sometimes y'all have to be put on pause. So thank you for that in advance. So very glad that you're here.
Thank you.
And next we have a new director of elementary school leadership and innovation, and that's Mrs. Haley Stelly, someone who's very familiar to you.
Gonna make them come up here.
I know. I see the look like you really have to. Yes, Luke. And yes, you do. Yes, of course you do. Because as we know, this work is a family plan, no doubt. Miss Stelly, you probably all know her as the Light Farms Elementary principal, but she'll be moving over to be our director of school leadership and innovation at the elementary level. And joining Mrs. Cockrell as our district continues to grow and expand. And so we're very excited to have Ms. Stelly join us. Ms. Stelly actually started in the district as a first-year teacher and then has worked her way up. So she's really spent her time growing and learning in Prosper ISD, and it's truly been my honor. And then watching her have her own children, and now they're in school too. So 17 years of public education, all within Prosper ISD. She started as a teacher at Baker Elementary, and then as an assistant principal at Rucker, and then Light Farms, and then we told her, you're going to be the principal at Light Farms. I think that's how it went. And so she's now served as the principal for 7 years. We're very excited to have her joining us over here at the administration building, but as we all know, we don't spend much time in this building. We're out serving campuses, so she'll be mobile office is what I like to refer to it as. So thank you all for sharing, because I know that your life's going to be a little bit different, but still the phone calls and all those things will happen, and mom will say, hey, just a minute, because that's the way it goes. But we're really thankful, Luke, that you're sharing your mom with us. Next up, we have a new face to Prosper ISD, and very excited about this leader joining us. I actually met and didn't realize that I was meeting at our senior luncheon that we have at the holidays. I sat down at a table because I was very drawn in by a gentleman that was sitting at the table because he had on a pair of overalls, and I was like, I want to talk to this guy. And I knew that he was serious about what he was wearing. They were blue and white striped, and as a farmer's daughter, I was like, this guy's got a story, and I'm going to go sit down by him. And so I sat down by him, and he said, I think you know my daughter-in-law, and you've interviewed her. And then I started sweating because I was like, I don't know if she got a job or not. It was really nerve-wracking for me. But little did I know that it was Bobby Allen, who is going to be our new principal at Jackson Elementary. And she and her husband are with us tonight, so come on up. That your father-in-law actually, that's how you got the job.
And we love her.
I was like, well, yeah, she's gonna get a job for sure. That's great. So,
Watching you live.
oh, hi. He's gonna love that I gave him a shout out.
And the overalls too.
Well, big fan of overalls. They're comfortable for sure. 13 years of education. She has served as a teacher, campus intervention specialist, section 504 coordinator, testing coordinator, and assistant principal, and currently is serving as a principal in Allen ISD. So we're very excited that you're going to join us. There's a lot of work to do ahead with opening a new campus. She actually is very familiar with because she's done that in Allen. So this is not new work to her. So we're so excited that she's here. And this is actually her community. So she and her husband live here with my favorite father-in-law and mother-in-law. They all live here in Prosper. So we're very glad that you're going to be home. And I know your commute will be much better. Yes. So congratulations. Next up, we have, well, of course, Ms. Stelly has moved on, so we need a principal at Light Farms Elementary. So Trent Turner, I know you're out there somewhere. Yes, that's right. Luke called you out. He's like, you're right. So very excited for Trent Turner. He's going to be our new principal at Light Farms Elementary. And you might notice that his wife is the principal at Folsom Elementary. So we're going to have to split them up at meetings. I know, we're not doing that. I think there's a lot of training that goes on after school probably of what they've read and what they're doing with their school. So
Professional learning communities.
that's right. There we go. Perfect. So Trent has served as a middle school teacher for 8 years. He came over to do elementary science curriculum coordinator for 5 years in Prosper ISD, and also served as a middle school teacher part of those years in Prosper, and then CFP, is that right? Am I remembering that correctly? And then assistant principal at Light Farms since 2021, and now the principal at Light Farms Elementary. So good to have your family here with you. Okay, so,
So I've got, this is Logan, he's at Folsom. This is Leo, he's at Folsom. And then Kira, she's at Hayes currently, an 8th grader, and she'll be heading to Rock Hill next year. And then Zoe, she's in 7th grade currently at Hayes. And my wife, Ash. You don't know her.
Nah.
so glad that y'all are all here and so wonderful and so excited for your dad. So,
It's awesome.
we don't see Jamaica.
Sorry,
I feel
I-
like there's a lot going on here. Thank you.
That's awesome. A lot of kids.
Okay, and we are opening Daniel L. Jones Middle School this August, and we have a new principal, and he is raring to go. Family's already up and on the move, because that's how Mr. DeVito does things. The man never stops moving. So Zach DeVito and his beautiful family, and he will be opening up Jones Middle School, coming from Hayes Middle School. Mr. DeVito, 17 years in public education, 11 of those years in Prosper ISD, so he's seen a great amount of growth and change over his time in the district. He previously served as a high school math teacher and then became the secondary math coordinator and then an assistant principal at Hayes Middle School under Nick Jones, and then took over Hayes once Nick made his move over to Prosper High School, and now on to Jones. So we're very excited about him opening the newly redesigned elementary or middle school prototype. So a little bit of a different design and a little bit of a different look at the building. But the really neat thing is that some of the students from Hayes will actually go over to Jones. So Mr. DeVito will be a very familiar face to many of those students. And we love to see that transition, just like with Mr. Turner moving into Miss Ellie's spot. That familiarity is a win with our staff and with our students. So congratulations. Would you like to introduce your family?
Sure. This is Ella. She's in 1st grade at Cockrell. Allie is in 4th grade at Cockrell. Caroline is at 7th grade at Rogers. This is my wife, Ben.
Congratulations and thank you for taking on such a great challenge. And I know that we're going to take him away for just a little bit more time. But I know he probably just drive you crazy anyway, so we might as well get him busy and prosperous.
Way to go.
And then at Hayes Middle School, because Mr. DeVito is moving on, we have Katie Britton. And Katie is with us tonight, she and her family.
I think I would forget my kids' names.
I loved meeting Katie. If you're an educator, there is this special moment when you sit down and you interview other educators and you find yourself in this moment where you just feel like you're having a really nice conversation about education and what should be happening in the world of education. And that's exactly what happened with Katie. And it was so refreshing. And all I could think is, I don't want her to leave. I want her to stay. And then I started talking to her about the possibility of the job. And she said, but if I leave right now, I have students that they're going to need me. And I was like, oh, I definitely have to have her here, because if you're going to make sure that you're centered on kids, that means you've got to have a prosper heart for sure. She's actually coming from Plano ISD, and sadly, she's been in the wrong ISD, and now she's in the so we're really excited. I know, girls, I know y'all attend that ISD, so don't tell Dr. Williams I said that. Okay, so 21 years in public education. She has been a middle school English teacher, elementary and middle school assistant principal, and now serves as a principal in Plano ISD at a middle school. But will move over to Hayes, and has actually already been over to Hayes to go see what's going on with the Hawks. So we're really excited about you joining us, and certainly thank y'all, because I know that it's going to be a change for you and an adjustment. But we're so excited to have your mom join us. You want to introduce your family?
Yes, I have my husband Steve is here, and this is Emma. She's a 5th grader, and Sarah is a 9th grader.
Well, we're glad you're here. Welcome to Prosper. I think now it's time for an official.
Awesome.
All right, so the celebration continues. I don't think we've moved anybody else around yet. It is one of the fastest growing districts in the state of Texas, but we have some pretty exciting news, and this happened in the first semester. And if you've ever been a part of a volleyball playoff run, it's something that is truly special and exciting. And so we got that opportunity, and to be able to see these amazing young women really represent Prosper ISD at the highest level of the state tournament was one of my greatest honors as the superintendent. So I would actually like to call up the team members who are here, the 2023 state semifinalists, Prosper High School volleyball team. A lot of them have practiced tonight because a lot of them, they play club sports. And so they stay highly competitive all year long. You want to talk about grit, determination, perseverance, unity as a team. These ladies are the epitome of it. And watching them was just truly an inspiration. And then being able to see their coaching staff come alongside them, support them at this very high level. And the heartbreak, I hate it because you're at the state tournament and then you're asked, like Mr. Jones and I were asked, and they were like, you're gonna have to come down and do the medals. It's not the medal you want to give them, but then you feel a little bit bad because you're like, there's so many kids in this state who died in this moment to get that medal. But it's hard for these young ladies in that moment. I think they eventually get there, like, we wanted this, and this is going to be okay, but there were so many people who wanted this moment. And so truly such a high honor, and ladies, I just cannot thank you enough. And certainly our coaching staff, Coach McCormick, this is her first year with us, so we're really excited to have her because I was like, wait, who is that? Who we hired? I'm kidding, I knew. Jalen Jackson, I don't believe is with us tonight. You know what, instead of me reading through everybody, I'm going to have y'all introduce yourselves because I know there's several that are at practice tonight.
I'm Brooklyn Bowman. I'm Sibby Gordon. Allie Bootsman. I'm Sophie Richards. Taylor Gardner. Reese Renfro. Audrey Hunt. Ashley McCormick.
Head coach.
Head coach. Mary Beth Sanders, music support.
Joshua Vernon, assistant. Timothy Maurice, assistant freshman.
So grit, perseverance, determination. Sophie, do you want to tell them what happened to you in the final game?
I slammed my teeth into the floor and they broke off.
They broke. Is your dad here?
No.
Okay, so her dad dresses in a full-on onesie zip-up eagle suit every time they play, every time. And so Sophie goes down and everybody, the hush comes over the crowd, right? The girls are all looking concerned, and all of a sudden you see an eagle flying to the floor. It was amazing. So her dad went down there, and of course when she got up and she smiled, I was like, oh my gosh. But I was trying to hold it back. But y'all did an amazing job. Super, super proud of each and every one of you. And for the parents, the level of commitment that you put in and the time and effort, thank you. Because you've made our school district shine. You've made us so much better, and we're so very thankful for you allowing us to be a part of these young ladies' lives and a part of such special moments. So thank you for that. So congratulations to you all, and I think we're going to take a quick photo. There you go. They're tall. They're really tall. Okay. Wait just a minute. I do want to give some stats too before they go, because this is pretty impressive. So team record, season record 37-10. District record is 12-2. second in district, by district champs, area champs, regional champs, and then state semifinalists. That's some serious work and a lot of coming together. So congratulations again. So next up, we have a very special performance this evening. You may or may not be aware that we have United Sound with us tonight. And just to give you a little bit of information about United Sound, it's a unique program designed to offer musical opportunities to students with disabilities and offer them mentors to learn and perform on a musical instrument. The United Song program at PHS serves 8 new musicians who are paired with 3 mentors, each from the PHS orchestra. The peer mentors are the real teachers. They meet once a week to work through a specialized curriculum and learn to play an instrument. This culminates in a amazing performance with the full PHS orchestra on the PHS stage twice a year. I don't know, I want to say how very special this program is because we have a true belief in Prosper ISD that all means all. And that means that every kid should be able to have the opportunity. And this, what you're about to see this evening is a true representation of all kids getting a chance to be their absolute best. So Mrs. Bartley, I want to say thank you to you for all of your work and effort. And I can't wait to hear this. Thank you so much. Hands up. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, go.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Great job.
Excellent job. If you wonder why we love being educators, this is the definition of it. Truly magical.
Let's go. Here, quick. So this month is School Board Recognition Month, and truly it needs to be every single day of the entire year for 365 days for the countless hours that this school board continues to give and show up and make sure that our students in this community and staff and parents have the absolute best that they can have. They're committed, loyal servants who give many, many hours with zero pay. There's no payment for what they're doing. So truly leading because there was a calling to say, I want to serve this district, and I want to say thank you for that. The theme this year is locally elected, community connected in Texas. School board members are elected by community members who trust them to do what's best for students. This connection ensures that board members are accountable to local voters, attuned to the needs of their communities, and dedicated to a brighter future. And I would say those are words because when I get to see each of these amazing leaders in action, whether they're with our students, our staff, within our community, our parents, it's like watching magic happen right before your eyes. And so we are beyond blessed again in Prosper ISD with an amazing board who continues to show up and wants us to do the absolute best. I ask them very often, what do you want your board legacy to be? When your time ends on the board, what would you want people to say? Or if I'm making a speech about you, what would you want me to say about you? And the resounding answer that comes from all 7 of them time and time again is, I just want to be known that I made things better. And I think that that is just the true epitome of who they are. I'm so honored to be the superintendent in this district, to be able to work alongside these 7 amazing leaders. And you all are lucky. Very lucky that you're in a community where you have a high-functioning board who wants to do the absolute best. So truly honored by each one of you, each and every time I interact with you and seeing what you do for our district and our kids. We have a special video for you tonight that I think you're going to truly enjoy. It's some of my favorite work when we ask our kids, what do school board members do?
I think a member of the school board is Dr. Ferguson.
I think a school board member is Holly Ferguson.
Miss Halsey and Miss Lindsay, Miss Truman.
I think a school board member is PTO.
Like the specialist teachers. Miss Raby, Miss Grimmett, Miss Albrecht.
I think it's a person that really likes school and is really kind, that someone be's mean to you, but you're braver than them.
And Miss Thompson. And that's all I know. I don't know anyone on the school board.
Helps.
Like, I think they help out with, like, making sure we have the best of our learning.
I think people on the school board are the principals of all the principals in the ISD, and they take charge of everyone.
They keep us safe.
I think school board members vote for different principals, paras, and teachers.
I think the school board teaches us.
Helps other people and always encourage them and help them when they're sad.
I would make it so there are more libraries and more books.
If I was on the school board, I would be a good listener. I think something important for me to do would be making sure every student got the best of their learning.
Put trash cans in the bathrooms. I would not even let anyone in the ISD even enter YouTube. You can enter YouTube and you cannot play specific stuff, but I'll make it where you can't even enter it.
I would want to be kind to all of my friends.
Our school board is an amazing group of people who honestly care for every student and staff member. We are without a doubt the best district in the state, thanks to your dedication.
Thank you for making Prosper the best district in Texas.
Thank you for all that you do behind the scenes to help make Prosper ISD stand out as the best of the best.
Thank you for your dedication to Prosper ISD. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. Thank you, Mr. Linker. Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Thank you, Mr. Van Wolf. Thank you, Mr. Dial. Thank you, Mr. Cavender. Thank you, Mr. Bridges.
Awesome. Just for the record, we do have trash cans in the bathroom. Maybe she didn't see them. I don't know, but we do have them.
Wow.
That is
Well,
awesome.
love it. Thank you all very much. And hey, on behalf of the board, it is a pleasure to serve our great community as well. So getting to see the students tonight, like all of y'all, that was just awesome. So just a quick snapshot in the day of the life of Prosper ISD. So let's see here. Moving on this evening, we now get to public comment.
If I may.
Oh, yes,
Bristol.
Mayor
I'd like to
Bristol. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'd actually like to add on to those congratulations for the trustees. And I'm gonna do some verification, first of all, the students' assessment. In December, Mrs. Dixon and I were able to teach a couple of senior government classes. And so I thought it would be interesting if I asked them if they knew any of the school board members. And they all thought about it and they go, no. They go, and finally they look at Dina and go, her. Right? I said, do you know her name? No, they didn't. So I can verify what the younger students had to say also, but.
Mayor, they're graduating.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
fine. It's
But,
fine.
On behalf of the Prosper Town Council, I am happy to be here to celebrate each and every one of you. And when Dr. Ferguson says locally elected and community connected, I know that is a fact because I've seen each and every one of you at almost every event that I am at, plus a lot more. So on behalf of our community, thank you. And on behalf of the Town Council, I'd like to say thank you for the partnership that you guys have established with us together to make us, the town of Prosper and Prosper ISD, what I say is the greatest community in the state of Texas. So thank you for all that. With that, I'd like to read a proclamation on behalf of the Town Council and myself. And the proclamation says, whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the diverse educational needs of all children and to empower them to become competent, productive contributors to a democratic society in an ever-changing world. And whereas local school board members are committed to children and believe that all children can be successful learners and that the best education is tailored to the individual needs of the child. And whereas local school board members work closely with parents, educational professionals, and other community members to create the educational vision we want for our students. And whereas local school board members are responsible for ensuring the structure that provides a solid foundation for our school system.
And whereas local school board members are strong advocates for public education and are responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectations to the district. Now therefore, I, David F. Bristol, the mayor of the town of Prosper, Texas, do hereby proclaim January 2024 as School Board Recognition Month in the town of Prosper, Texas, and urge all citizens to join me in recognizing the dedication and hard work of the local school board members in working with them to mold an education system that meets the needs of both today and tomorrow's children. Thank you for what you do. Could you join me?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Normally, we hold a quick recess in between this time, but actually I've noticed this evening for the speakers, we have a number of students on there. So I'm going to keep everybody here if you'd like to stay and hear the public comments by our students, and then afterwards we'll have a quick recess. So let me go through a little bit of language here, and then we will call up our first speaker this evening. Let's see here, public comments on agenda items and as well as public comments on non-agenda items this evening. Thank you for everybody who has come in to speak. Here in Prosper ISD, we do look at transparency and partnership with the teachers, schools, and families. The best way always is to reach out directly to a board member, but we are happy to have you come in here this evening and speak. One of the things in Prosper ISD that we want for all of our students is for them to be successful. So with that being stated, this evening we have, it's about 15, 16 people. So I'm going to allot 2 minutes to everybody for speakers. And the first one this evening is Soraya. I'm so sorry, I've messed that up if I have. Soraya.
Good evening. Again, my name is Soraya. I'm a junior and I'm coming from Walnut Grove High School. And I just want to express that I'm thankful to be here before you, and I cannot greatly express my gratitude enough for the job you do and enriching my personal school environment and the school environment of all the schools in our district. For me personally, for all my years of school outside of high school, I came from very small private and charter schools where just the school, it was very limited, a very limited opportunity. And coming to this school district, I knew that it wasn't for me going into high school. I know that I wanted to widen the scope. I know that I wanted more opportunity. So I'm very thankful for that. Now coming here, that I am student council president this year, I'm able to participate in National Art Honor Society, HOSA, NHS, NTHS, and just all these opportunities I've had, and I'm very grateful for that. And I just want to thank you for bringing that to our school district and making school truly more than just a routine. I come to school knowing that I have a community. Again, I'm very grateful to be in this nice district, and that thanks truly goes to you guys. So I'm very appreciative of that, and thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Noah.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully everyone's having a great night so far. My name's Noah Maddock. I'm not a sophomore, I'm a senior at Walnut Grove, soon to be graduated. But one thing I would like to say is thank you so much for having Arts Honor Society at our school. As someone who's so interested in art and actually thinking of going into the art industry for my career, it's helped me so much to meet friends and gain better opportunities with people, especially the staff. I was diagnosed with dyslexia here. It was very difficult for me throughout many years. Take Flight was definitely a big support for me, and it's helped me with comprehension, reading, writing, and overall just helping me shine through school. So I thank you, Dr. Ferguson, and the school board for prioritizing our education. Sorry, I'm so nervous speaking up here, but
You're doing awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Got
you. the National Arts Honor Society has some gifts for you guys, some DP and some treats, some chocolates. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. And
All
thank
chocolate
you
and treats are welcome.
Yes, absolutely.
just for you guys. So thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you for making our school the best.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Is it Siam?
Hello. Good evening. I want to thank you guys first off by having me here on tonight on the behalf of Prosper ISD and on the behalf of PCIS. My name is Simon Mayer and I am a junior at Walnut Grove High School. I'm a part of all sorts of extracurriculars, but most importantly, PCIS, which is the organization I'm here tonight specifically to thank you all for. As you all may know, PCIS, our independent career study course, was something so perfect for someone indecisive like me that I'm wanting to take it again next year. So with that, thank you to Prosper ISD, and thank you to the board for granting 218 current PCIS students with this amazing opportunity. I want to say thank you to Mr. Rutledge for consistently delivering these events and gatherings. Thank you to Dr. Ferguson for allowing and supporting this program. And lastly, thank you to all the teachers that run this program, Ms. Ballard at Prosper, Ms. McClendon at Walnut Grove, and Ms. Catchy at Rock Hill, for helping all 218 of us with blessing us with a clear future. Being a part of an amazing district with an amazing board that supports students pursuing their passions makes me so proud to be a part of Prosper ISD. Give me 5 years, and I want to be back here as a mentor for future PCIS students. Thank you again, Prosper ISD, not only for PCIS, but allowing me to attend a great district with endless opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jacob.
Good evening. My name is Jacob Key, and I'm a freshman at Walnut Grove. I am a member of the Hope Squad and the band at the school, and I'd like to thank you not on behalf of just those organizations, but also the school itself for everything that y'all have done with making a great program for just all of Prosper ISD, for the high schools, for Walnut Grove, and for everything that you've blessed us with. I've lived in Prosper for a good majority of my life, and I can say growing up here and being in the school district is probably one of the things that has made me who I am today. And just to all of you, thank you. Thank you for growing this district and keeping it as great as it is. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you, Jacob. Savannah.
Hi, my name's Savannah Yeager. I am the student council president at Prosper High School. We're both representing student council this evening. I just wanted to say to y'all, thank you so much for everything that you do. Student council is a big part of all things planning events and doing stuff for within our school, and I can't even imagine having to do that for an entire district. So thank you for just providing us with so much and allowing us to learn to be a leader, and I can't wait to take my leadership skills on with me into the real world.
Yeah, I'm Parker Reynolds. I'm the vice president, and just being able to be held this position for the past 2 years that we have has given us the opportunity to grow as leaders, grow as people, but also kind of take an underdog perspective as being juniors, being younger in that position, and leading people that are older than us, going into college, now having that experience. I'm also a part of Eagle Nation News, which is Prosper High School's news organization, and I'm a producer in that as well, and that's given me an incredible opportunity, as that's something that I want to continue as I go into college and in my future. And at many schools, that's not an opportunity that they receive to get to practice and get to learn about that career and all the different careers that we are. So just the opportunities that we have is incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And Parker, congratulations on your latest video, award-winning video.
Ryan.
Good evening and happy School Board Appreciation Month. You're hearing from a lot of really smart and talented and highly achieved kids tonight who love their school district, and also me. When I was given the invitation to come show my appreciation for the school board tonight, My mind was flooded with so much gratitude for all I've been given in Prosper ISD. I've loved my time working directly with Mr. Van Wolf and Mrs. Dixon, and of course, Dr. Ferguson. I stand before you as a product of many things that Prosper has to offer. As an AP and dual credit student, I will graduate from high school to enter college with enough credits to be halfway through my sophomore year, which is such a blessing. I'm also grateful to be a member of the Walnut Grove Student Council and NHS. I look forward to each meeting of our Superintendent Advisory Council, and I appreciate that someone always finds me an extra sandwich to give me. I'm also currently learning how to make my future wife some awesome flower bouquets in my floral design class. And I'm enjoying baseball and powerlifting at Walnut Grove. And to whoever came up with the all access pass for games, I'm wearing that thing out. As much as I've loved every minute of my time in Prosper ISD, it's not lost on me that all my best memories have been created because of someone else's tireless efforts. So tonight I wanted to take some time out of my life to show up and say thank you. Thank you for all the days and nights you spend serving us kids, and for all the hours you spend sorting through the tough decisions on our behalf. I'm a big fan. Thank you.
Thanks.
Miriam?
Ryan left out that he did send a video last night campaigning for a day off today. He was sliding by his pool just thinking maybe he would get a day off, but didn't.
We were all hoping for it. Good evening. My name is Mariam Qasim, and I'm a sophomore at Prosper High School.
Hi, I'm Bella Rodriguez, and I'm also a sophomore at Prosper High School. I am here representing the dual language program. I moved here from California in the 3rd grade, and I can solemnly say that all of the opportunities that I have been presented with since I moved here are absolutely incredible. I was in the dual language program up until high school, and I now take AP Spanish Language and Culture, along with AP Modern World History and AP Biology. And then I am also a editor of the Eagle Yearbook. I'm the Clubs and Academics editor. And then I'm also the sophomore class president of Student Council, along with an officer of the National Art Honor Society. I would really just like to thank the school board for providing me with all these opportunities to explore my passions in journalism and art and academics, and I'm really just so grateful to be able to be here and express my gratitude to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here representing the Prosper Muslim Student Association, the Prosper I chapter of the National Honor Society, the Prosper ISD combined chapter of Skills USA, Prosper Student Council, Prosper Islamic Student Council, Prosper Science UIL team, I'm so sorry, HOSA, the National English Honor Society, Junior World Affairs Council, the Climate Change Action Team, Biomedical Club, and the STEM Mentorship Association. I'm also in the GT program, AP and dual credit classes, and I'm part of Prosper's incredible biomedical science and visual arts programs. Thanks to the opportunities the school board has given students like me, I have been fortunate enough to go to the area, state, and international levels for HOSA competitions twice, and take my art to the state level in the base competition last year, where I received a gold medal and a scholarship. All of this is to say that I am where I am today because of the fantastic opportunities the school board has granted students at Prosper ISD. Since it is School Board Appreciation Month, I just wanted to thank Dr. Ferguson and our school board for all the opportunities that I've been given here. Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Iva.
Hi, I'm Eva Mullet. I'm a senior at Rock Hill High School, and I'm here on behalf of Hope Squad. So Hope Squad has been a huge thing for me because I was homeschooled my entire life, and so when I came to Prosper, Hope Squad was one of the things that welcomed me into the school and helped me introduce me to people, and just helped me feel familiarity with my environment. And it's helped me be a leader in my own communities by shifting culture the way that it's been seen. And thank you for the school board for providing all these opportunities for us. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Reese. Okay. Thank you. Hadley.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Hadley Hoofnagel. I'm a junior at Walnut Grove, and I'm here representing the Ready, Set, Teach program, as well as Taffy, Hope Squad, PALS, Student Ambassadors, Partners PE, and I work with the PISD Family Resource Center that serves special needs families and their students. Since it's School Board Appreciation Month, I just want to take a minute to thank Dr. Ferguson and our lovely school board for all the opportunities I've been given in Prosper ISD. Those opportunities allow me to grow both as a student and as a person. The Ready, Set, Teach program lets high school students student teach at feeder schools. The Ready, Set, Teach program has given me the opportunity to learn as an intern teacher. I teach elementary special education at Cockrell, and it is the best thing that I could have been ever given. More than the classroom setting could have ever offered me. I would also like to mention Hope Squad. I am the secretary at Walnut Grove. This class and program has truly transformed my life, and I am eternally thankful for the program and the lives that it has impacted daily. I am so grateful for the PISD School Board to have such amazing programs for all their students. Thank you guys so much. We all appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Simi.
Hello, my name is Shemi Akindabe, and I'm representing the greatest school at Prosper ISD, Rock Hill High School. Today, I will be representing Hope Squad as well as choir and musical theater. I moved to Prosper ISD in the 5th grade, and we moved because I was suffering from anxiety from my old school. When we came to Prosper ISD, I realized that the teachers and the environment were very different from any of the previous school districts that I'd been a part of. The teachers were actually pushing us to be better students, and I got the learning that I really needed to become the person that I am today. I say thank you so much for wanting to push us to the next level and wanting us to get on that career field and do stuff in the workforce to make us better individuals, not just at our homes and not just in our schools, but in the real world as well. I say thank you for all the teachers that you bring into the school, including Mr. Galloway over here, teachers including Mrs. Haney, Mr. McGuire, Ms. King. All of these teachers have really impacted me and shaped me in the way I should go. And I'm very grateful and fortunate to say that I will be attending Baylor University to pursue a degree in music education and hopefully become a choir director, maybe one day at Prosper ISD.
There we go.
So I just want to say thank you so much for just being a wonderful team and helping us to be the best people that we can be. It truly means a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Did you want to put a plug in for Sing on Saturday night?
Sing 2024 for Rockville Choir this Saturday.
Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now.
There we go. Maggie.
Hi, my name is Maggie Wiley.
Wait. National champions.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a junior and I'm a varsity cheerleader at Walnut Grove.
Hi, my name is Maylee. I'm also a junior at Walnut Grove, and we are here on the behalf of the Walnut Grove cheer team. I just want to begin by saying thank you so much for all that you do and supporting us through every decision and everything that we do with cheer.
Walnut Grove cheer means more to me than words are capable of expressing. Being a part of such a talented group of girls is the greatest blessing in my life. The team is nothing but positivity, and being able to walk into practice every day knowing I'm surrounded by the greatest support system is truly the best feeling. Walnut Grove cheer is a source of friendship, support, positivity, and fun, and being a part of this amazing program is one of God's greatest gifts to me.
Coming from Rock Hill, I was very nervous for what this year would bring. I didn't want change, but little did I know that Walnut Grove cheer would have such a positive impact on my life. I have bonded with new people, and not only have they become my friends, but my family. Every day, cheer is something that I look forward to. I'm showered with constant love and encouragement from my teammates and my coaches for both things in and outside of cheer.
I came from Prosper, and I was so excited to be reunited with all of my friends from middle school while also making new friends. Being given the opportunity to create bonds with people I might not have before Walnut Grove is something that I cherish and I'm so grateful for.
The Walnut Grove Cheer program has made me a better athlete, leader, friend, teammate, and just overall person. This season was definitely challenging, but the challenges have made the rewards that much greater.
So many things have influenced our program, and wow, where do I even start? Of course, y'all. And the coaches, the backbone of our program. I can't say enough to describe how amazing these three people are. They put so much time into helping us become better athletes and people. With constant hours of making routines, traveling far with us to games, and preparing for pep rallies, these coaches are always putting in what we need to make us the best we can be and always seem to be putting us first. Our program wouldn't be how it is without Coach Ryan, Coach Allen, and of course Coach Grobe, and of course y'all.
This year, our program has had the privilege of being able to compete in both UIL and NCA. Our first year as a new school, we placed 7th in UIL out of 88 teams, and we were also awarded with Best Fight Song out of our entire division. This past weekend, we competed at NCA, and last night we became National Grand Champions for the Advanced Crowd Leading Division. We had the highest score out of all advanced divisions, along with Best Humbling and Best Showmanship. We couldn't be more grateful and owe it all to our coaches, teammates, our school board, and our ISD. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for all that you do.
Jacqueline.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Apologies.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn Johnson, and I am a junior at Walnut Grove High School. I have lived in Prosper for about 10 years now. Thank you for our amazing high school. I just want to start off by saying that I am so proud to attend Walnut Grove as a Wildcat. At my high school, I currently serve as the Vice President of Student Council, and I am the Secretary of ASL Honor Society. I'm an active member of National Honor Society and have been in Hope Squad for 2 years. I'm also involved in PALS, Bake the World a Better Place, and a few other clubs. I'm on the varsity tennis team, and I'm also a part of the archery team, and I just applied to the CNA nursing program through Collin College. I'm also part of several AP and dual credit classes, and while doing all of that, I ref soccer for Paso, all while maintaining an unweighted 4.0 GPA. I also went through the amazing Take Flight program for dyslexia. My teachers at Walnut Grove are amazing, and they're very invested in us. Thank you for seeking out the very best employees and staff for our school. Tonight, I'm here to thank you for being such an amazing school board. I feel so lucky to attend a school in our district because we have leaders like you who truly, truly care about us and want the best for every single student enrolled in PISD. I've had the pleasure of serving on the Superintendent's Advisory Council for 2 years now, which I love, and I've gotten to know several of you through that. I love that our district allows for so many opportunities for youth like me to become leaders and learn how to use our voice. Dr. Ferguson, I'm always so impressed that you're always everywhere. You make us all feel so special when you attend events and continuously show up. Thank you for leading our school district in the right direction and for always putting the children first. We are seriously so blessed to have you, and I'm so grateful for every Dr. Ferguson hug that I get. When I see you in the school, I always seek you out. You always have a smile, a kind word to say, and like I said, the best hugs. Thank you to Mr. Dial for never yelling at me as I rep your daughter's soccer games. We all know that some parents can get a little loud at these games, so thanks. And thank you to Mr. Von Wolf for raising canes to support so many of our activities here in PISD. I look forward to getting to know more of you on a personal level. Thank you for everyone for being on the school board and serving in the capacity that you do. We know you take times out of your life to do this, and so we thank you. I love PISD, and I cannot thank you enough for all the love and effort that you pour into our district. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
On the behalf of Bake the World a Better Place, we brought y'all a little treat, so if y'all don't mind, we're going to bring these up to you now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yum. Thank you. No, that was so amazing. Thank you so much. Yum.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much to all of y'all that spoke. now we have Mr. and Mrs. Funk. It's your turn to speak. I hope that y'all brought cookies for us. But hey, if y'all don't mind, we're going to go ahead and hold a quick recess right now. Students, thank y'all very much for everything that y'all did tonight, for coming in to talk. We had others come in earlier. It was great to recognize y'all this evening. But I know that, hey, in Prosper ISD, while there's a lot to take advantage of, we also hold a high standard on academics. So I will let y'all go if y'all want to go study this evening. And thank y'all so much for coming in. That is a little unorthodox in how we did things this evening, so thank you for rolling with us.
No, thank you for having the reception, intermission. I didn't want to be the buzzkill in the room. Johnny Moyer, resident of Light Farms, have a son at Light Farms Elementary. We love this district. We've been here. He's actually, even though he's in kindergarten, we've been in the program for 4 years through ECSC, speech therapy, Miss Brantig, Miss Kirk, great teachers, great people there. But I'm not here to talk about education. I'm here to talk about land. So I live in Light Farms. I live on Switchgrass Street. I back up to the green space that goes over there by Frontier. So great spot for me. 'Cause I can hear all the baseball games, all the football games. So I love it. I'm a sports guy. But there's some things going on right now that, and first let me thank Dr. Bradley for having a meeting with me. Some of the board members spoke with me. You guys are very transparent. I appreciate it. The ISD is potentially in negotiations on 2 pieces of property, one directly by my house that is owned by the Mud Board, and one adjacent to it for a potential school site or something else for the district. I'm not against the school. I'm not against anything by ISD building something back there. That's fine. What I'm more aware about is my neighbors on the green space who back up to that property to potentially build a road back there. All 48 homes on that street, both sides of the street, have signed this thing to our Mud Board opposing this. And I'm just asking the board, I know you're not voting on anything. I know that one day you will have a decision to make on this, but I ask that you direct the staff or your contractors who are negotiating these deals to really look at the consequences here. There are a lot of families back there. We all have wrought iron fences. It's a floodplain. You know, there's discussion of, well, you got to raise the grade of that green space to build something back there or have like a suspended road. I don't want that out behind my house. I mean, you can only imagine the property value would just hit all of us going down that street. So first, like I said, I'm not against the school. What I would like to ask is can you talk to your team members who are looking at this opportunity? Is there any alternative routes that you can go to access a school? Because I know you need dual access for a school site. If it's not a school site, I guess you might only need one, so maybe you could go find that other one another way. I'm just asking, you know, on behalf of the residents of Switchgrass, I have some neighbors here with me tonight. We're very concerned about this. And what's very concerning is I love to do research and I love to look at, you know, find where to connect the dots. So you have a gentleman who's negotiating for you, Mr. Warren, who used to be on the board here, probably great gentleman to do this. But here's the crazy part. He's the listing agent for the $4.6 million property that he's trying to sell to you. I know it's not illegal, but there's got to be some kind of conflict of interest if there's nothing signed between the seller and the buyer. I mean, the Texas Real Estate Commission won something in written. So put everything out on the table. I'm talking to my Mud Board. I'm talking to you. Just be open and transparent about it and look at alternative sites where you could maybe, you know, if there was an access for it. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mrs. Funk. No Mrs. Funk. And then Mr. Funk as well. And no Mr. Funk. Okay, that now closes the comments for public comment for both agenda items and non-agenda items this evening. All right. Let's see here. That takes us to informational reports.
So our student enrollment, we are at 28,888 students today. I checked this afternoon. And so you can see that that is an add for a year's time of
a little over 3,600 students. So again, continuing to hold the crown of fastest growing school district in the state of Texas, or at least in the North Texas area for sure. So as many are declining in enrollment around us, our enrollment continues to go through the roof. And I think tonight our students were a perfect example of why people want their children in this district. Okay, and then we have our video for our Bond 2019 construction projects. Progress. A lot of construction going on across the district. We next have our Executive Director of Guidance and Counseling, Alexis Webb, is going to share an informational report. Hello, Ms. Webb.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So good evening. I'm honored and excited to spend a few minutes to highlight some of the things that our counseling department has done in the fall and has planned for the upcoming spring semester. We are in full force with course selection, so we are busy and working with all students at high school and then middle school get started. So to share a few things with you, except I went the wrong way. There we go. So just to start, that our Prosper ISD counselors, just like everyone else, believes that all students are unique and have special abilities, talents, and interests that must be recognized and nurtured. So our goal is to help promote their interests and get them to where they want to be academically, personally, social, college, career. We work closely with students, staff, parents, the community to closely monitor their progress. Our department is very unique because we get to work with all departments in some aspect. In my daily work, I work with pretty much, maybe not maintenance and operations all the time, but I work with CNI, CTE, advanced academics, student services. We're able to work with all of the departments to help our students meet their individual needs and help them get to their next and help them in their special track, no matter where they come, no matter when they come, as they enroll all the time, which there'll be some numbers that we'll show in just a second. All of our campuses, elementary and Calhoun, have one counselor, with the exception of Spradley, because it started out a little bit larger. Our elementary and secondary campuses have alpha counselors or grade level counselors based on enrollment. Those are all school counselors. We were so lucky to start with offering student support counselors. So those counselors are licensed professional counselors. We have them at all of our high schools now. And they're also the leads of our crisis team. So if there's a crisis, a traumatic event, students need support, staff needs support, whether it's a large traumatic event or even a small one, they are my go-to. They call, they go, they serve, and we've been trained to lead teams in Crisis Nova program that I'll explain just a little bit later. We also have an AEP and DAP counselor who also serves as our McKinney-Vento liaison. So she supports all of our students needing extra support, transportation, and needs that they might need for school. And then we are also lucky because of our partnership with Colin. We have a college and career counselor that is 2 days at our high schools to help with not only dual credit enrollment, but also parent education nights and helping students get into college. So they're a great support, collaboration. We meet with them and they meet with our counseling team on a regular basis. So a little bit about our department. So Prosper ISD, there is a program and a curriculum that we follow. It's the Texas model for comprehensive school counseling programs. So we provide developmentally appropriate assistance to all of our students with additional assistance to students in need, no matter what they're going through at the time. The program is based on 4 components: guidance curriculum, responsive services, individual student planning, and system support. Guidance curriculum is where our counselors go into classrooms and they teach and they work on transferable skills in the areas of interpersonal effectiveness, post-secondary planning and career readiness, and personal health and safety. So the state provides grade level competencies and goals to be covered in each area, and our counselors work to develop lessons based on the need of the campus to meet those goals and competencies, and parents can reach out to counselors to preview any lesson that will be covered in their child's class. Responsive services address the immediate needs of our personal concerns of students. We have 28 of our counselors who are NOVA trained. It's a 3-day training in the event of a crisis. So we all have the exact same protocol that we go through if they need to go to a campus. So we can call our crisis team no matter where we need to send them. If we're working with students, adults, upper level, and they know exactly what to do. So they're trained in leading a group and running a group of what they need to do when they walk onto a campus, so we're all on the same page and we know how to work with students to process whatever event might have occurred. This year we're lucky that we have a partnership with Journey of Hope. In the past, we've sent a lot of our students to Journey of Hope. It's an outside organization that focuses on grief and grief counseling, but they came before school and trained our counseling team, and we currently have 8 campuses doing the work, that the curriculum they provided, so that our students who have gone through an event don't have to go to Plano or go somewhere in the evenings where they're already struggling. The groups are going on at our campuses now, and as more grief or issues come up, then we will start new groups. But they've given us the curriculum, they've helped us with resources to get that started. So that's new this year, and I'm very excited about that. Our elementaries facilitate different lunch bunches. So far we've had 408 student interactions on our elementary campuses, pulling kids in for a variety of students. Sometimes it's just new and needing a friend. Sometimes they're needing to work on some type of skill, and that's happening during lunches. We work with families for referrals for our free counseling with our partnership through Children's Health. We have had 82 referrals in the fall semester. Of those 83 referrals, 63 students are receiving services. We've had 166 virtual visits, and then we also have support case management contacts. So maybe it's not a right fit for them for virtual counseling. Sometimes younger students, it's not a great fit, or depending on the need. So the case managers at Children's help work with families to find a resource for them based on insurance, what works with them, what their preferences are, of what type of counseling they might need, if it's a family or individual. So they are working to help match referrals based on their need. It's been a great partnership with the Children's for that counseling. They've also done a lot of presentations and have one scheduled next month that we'll talk about in a few minutes. We do individual planning, so we assist students in monitoring and understanding their own educational, career, and personal social development. All of our 8th grade students are starting, because the course selection opened last week, we're starting a 4-year plan, and we put that plan in a program called Zello. All of our 6th through 12th grade students have access to this program, and this plan follows them. So right now they're planning out. So 8th grade's gonna pick what they're gonna take all through high school. Then when they're gonna pick a classes, it's gonna lock, and then the next year it tracks them, and then they make adjustments based on what they like, they decide they love this class, so they're going to pursue that pathway in CTE. Or maybe they've decided, oh, I don't want to become a doctor, I want to become a teacher. So they switch the pathway, and it follows them all through high school to help them track out and map their classes. And that follows that each year they review the plans and discuss their post-secondary goals. So that will start when course selection closes. our high school counselors will start pulling and meeting with all of our students individually. What did they pick? What adjustments do we need to make? What are your plans? Okay, we need to make this adjustment. We need to add you to this class, remove that. Let's get that set up for you. Then we also collaborate with students and families on appropriate course placement and schedules. This is really important also as all of our new students enroll. We'll kind of flip over. So we've had this year since the beginning of school in middle school and high school, you can see our new students. So all of our counselors are looking at those transcripts, evaluating those transcripts, making sure that they're getting appropriate placement. They're not taking classes that they've received, and they're getting the classes they need if they're moving from another country or state to meet our graduation requirements. We did start using a program this year called Immigrate to help us with our foreign transcripts, as those have increased, and we want consistency in those transcribing of foreign transcripts all across our district, so that no matter where you're going to school, no matter what country you're coming from, we're making sure that we're giving students what they need as we evaluate, and they also make sure they're always in English for us. So we get transcripts, and we take what we can get when they come from different countries, and so they transcribe those, and so we can actually read them, but they also give us suggestions. Obviously, district, we will get the ultimate decision, but they give us great information, and then they also give us a backstory of the educational system within that country that they're coming from, especially if there's a country we're not as familiar with and we don't get as many students from. This year, we were blessed to get a college and career military readiness coordinator. Her name's Dr. Mueller, so we work regularly with her to increase our numbers of students who are graduating college and career military ready. We're really focusing on that. We want all of our students from Prosper ISD to be ready for their next, whatever that next is, and it's why it's so important for all of our students to have those individual plans so that we're communicating and making sure that they're ready for whatever that is that they want to do next. System support includes programs and different activities and services that we provide teachers, parents, students. This is a list of some of the things that we've done. Help students cope with anxiety, that's coming up, and our Children's Health is actually providing that. It's going to be virtual, so we're going to do a lunchtime virtual event this time. Our college career fair is always a huge success with a large turnout. That was at Rock Hill High School for the district this fall. We had a counseling signs that a student might need additional support. So sometimes the parent doesn't know, like, is this normal behavior? Is this just a phase they're going through? Or when should I get that? And then what are all the different levels and different types of counseling that you can get? Because it can be a very overwhelming of what's available. We had a college admissions panel in the fall where we had college admissions officers from different types of schools come and answer questions for families. So that was a great event. And then we're going to have another college night that will be available in the spring. Our dual credit parent nights were a huge success. We had lots of turnout, so we're always wanting to increase our dual credit numbers. Our FAFSA parent nights are starting next week, and we'll go through February. Each high school has one of those. They're later than normal because the government decided to change the FAFSA form this year. So it normally opens October 1st, and, well, it didn't open until January 1st as a soft opening this year. Hope Walk, of course, we hope you're all there. It is on March 23rd, so we hope you join all our community on Hope Walk. We have a Mental Health Matters night that same week of Hope Week, which is the week following Hope Walk, where our student support counselors and our Hope Squad students will have a panel, and we invite our local community resources together to provide information to families. We have our Expo nights. Like I said, high school already happened. Middle school is coming up. Parenting in the Digital Age, that happened at Liliana last week. It was fantastic. The Collin County Advocacy Center was there along with their detectives. It was very eye-opening, and I'm working to get one scheduled for secondary parents later this spring. I came home with a lot of information that I shared at dinner the following night with our family. Planning for future presentations for middle school and high school. Those are new events that we had this year, really outlining all the opportunities we have to make sure college and career, all parents know all of those. We had a fall, we did the middle school night. It was a huge turnout. We'll definitely need more of those moving forward. And we did our high school ones last night. Our Q&As with counselors are going on right now for high school or incoming high school, and then it'll be for middle school later on. We do QPR training for all of our staff and all of our secondary Hope Squad trainings. That stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. All of our counselors and our secondary Hope Squad advisors are QPR trainers, so they are the ones that train the staff and the students. This is a partnership as the Suicide Gateway program for all of, for our partnership with Hope Squad. So those two programs partnered together. We give credit by exams for acceleration. It's a way for students to earn credit when they have not taken a course yet. So if they have the knowledge and they want to take that, they can. The Texas Education Agency requires districts to provide 4 opportunities each year for credit by exam at no cost to students. So our counselors meet with families, meet with students, go over the pros and cons of what would happen if you take the test and you pass the class, you have to move on. So just making sure they know that, and then what would be your next opportunities and what does that mean down the road. It doesn't mean as a junior and senior you stop taking math. That's not what we would advise. We want them to know they're doing this so they can reach all these other opportunities available. This fall, we've done 2 of our opportunities so far. We've given 354 tests, 161 course subjects were given, 166 language tests were given. We partner with Avant, and we are offering a lot of languages for our students to earn credit if they can speak, read, and write a language, and they don't need to take it. They can always take one, but they can test out of their language credit in high school if they come with that knowledge already. So it is one of our largest tests that we give. And then we also do kindergarten acceleration. We gave 27 of those this year, not as many, but it is growing. These are students that are kinder eligible, not coming to kindergarten early, but they're eligible age-wise for kinder, then they can skip out of kindergarten and go to 1st grade. The same thing, our counselors, administrators talk with parents to go through why this might be good and or maybe a con, the pros and cons, and let the parent make the decision on if they want to test or not, but we provide those opportunities. This is an outline. So the districts are now required to have a uniform tracking system to document time spent in each of the comprehensive counseling models. We were not selected as a district to submit the data this year, but we might next year, so we're ready just in case. These are our trackings as of the fall. In high school, the guidance numbers are lower and the individual goes up. So you spend less time talking to kids in classes and more time individually. In elementary and middle school, the guidance should be higher in there. Non-counseling duties, if you'll notice, is a little bit higher for our elementary. I'm excited to say that today a job posted, so thank y'all for believing in the counseling staff. So if you know anybody that wants to be a testing or 504 coordinator, we have positions posted because counselors have been doing that at elementary school, and so they will not be doing that anymore. So they will be able to spend more direct time with students, so their numbers will shift. So we're super excited. At the middle school, then they're the testing coordinators right now, and they won't be the testing coordinators. They'll just be able to spend more time working directly with students in counseling needs. So that's exciting, and those numbers will shift, especially next year. Our high school counselors do not do testing or 504 right now, so their numbers are a little bit more accurate. We document our student interactions in Skyward, so counselors documented 78,160 counselor interactions with students. That includes guidance lessons, so that's a large portion. And if you look on the students, 21,184 students had an interaction with the counselor during the fall semester. So not 28,000, that's our goal, we're working on it, but we are wanting to make sure we meet and interact with all students at some point throughout the year. Obviously, our guidance lessons are going to be our highest student interactions, but then here's a listing of our next highest numbers: personal concerns, course schedules, individual planning, parent communication. That does not include email. If we documented that, that's probably all they'd be doing is documenting their emails, college and career planning, and then classes and grades. So those are our highest interactions that our counselors are working with our students on. Then next, to give a little bit of information, we receive reports from the National Student Clearinghouse that tracks where our students attend college after high school. The information is important to us to track because many of our students attend school outside of Texas, and the information that comes to us from the TAPR only tracks Texas public schools. So we have this information so we can track where all of our students attend. This is based on our 2022 graduates. 2023 graduates haven't come out. It will. So as soon as that's out, we'll have the information and get that to you. So this is where Prosper High School and Rock Hill students of 2022 attended most, the year directly following high school. And then we also look to see if they're enrolled in a public school, a private school, a 4-year school, 2-year school, in-state and out-of-state. So 84% of our students the year directly after high school at PHS attended a college, and 80% at Rock Hill. So we're always wanting to increase that, but we also know that a lot of our students might leave with a certification or going straight into the workforce or military as well. And this is just to end it, a picture of our last Hope Walk. So making sure you get that on your calendar. Hopefully we see y'all at the Hope Walk. This year the theme is Share the Hope. So it's a Share the Hope Walk.
Nice.
Excellent
Great.
job,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Webb. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for all you do. Ms. Webb is always ready to jump into action. Our most recent tragedy with the loss of our teacher, and she was on the ground with a crisis team ready to go, and the principals of those campuses were saying how very thankful they were for the support of our counseling team. So truly appreciate everything that y'all do.
Dr. Ferguson, is the crisis team, is it separate than the existing counselors, or is it?
So it's our counselors, but there's a certain group of them that have decided to do the NOVA crisis training, so it helps with grief and when kids are dealing with loss.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on into consent agenda. Everybody has seen this. We all had this in our packet. Any questions, anything of that nature? Hearing none, does anyone have a motion for consent agenda?
I'll make one. Move the board approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Van Wolf. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I think Mr. Cavender got that. Thank you, Mr. Cavender. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? That is all of us. None opposed. That will then take us on into action items. And action item 9A, review the plan of finance and possible action to adopt and order and authorization the issuance of school building bonds. It's good to see you this evening, Mr. Witt.
Yes, good evening. It's good
Did
to
you
be
bring,
here.
Cookies for us.
I did not.
Oh, well.
I've been pacing back there, hoping that I wasn't the one to follow the young students.
Exactly.
So anyway, it's good to be here, especially on Board Appreciation Month. Following up on our board meeting in December, where we kind of had a post-election kind of preview. We've met with the Finance Committee and the staff in January, and we have an action item for you. So on my presentation, the first page is the Bond Buyers Index of Municipal Bonds. It's the graph that you see from us all the time. To the far right of the graph, you'll see a number 3.39%. That is our current level, just below the average, running across the middle in blue. So our markets have stabilized in the interest rates. This is, of course, is a municipal bond chart. But it indicates that we've stabilized, we're below historical averages, and we're in good shape with respect to the market. On this page, it shows your authorized but unissued bonds and the amount to be sold with this installment. So in the left column is the 2019 bond election. $1.3 billion was authorized. At the bottom of that chart, you have authorized but unissued of $432 million. And we're looking at issuing $232 million out of that 2019 voter-approved authorization of bonds. The 2023 bond election, of course, is $2.7 billion in total, broken down in between Proposition A, B, and D, with the bulk of it being in Proposition A at $2.4 billion. At the bottom of that amount to be sold, we're looking at $153 million from the general proposition, $10 million for instructional technology, and $5 million for starter money should you decide to start with the Performing Arts Center. Doesn't require you to, but it allows you to have starter money so that you can make a decision under your timing. The $10 million in Proposition B for instructional technology, when we sell and issue the bonds in its aggregate amount of $400 million, we have to make provision to show that we're amortizing more than $10 million in a short-term fashion. So when we amortize one sale of $400 million, we're doing it for multiple styles of assets, including instructional technology, all the way up to new high schools. They obviously have different useful lives. We blend that in and take account of that when we structure the bond sale. So the related projects for this, number 18 in the elementary school, we finish. 19 and 20, we start. In the middle school, we finished number 5. We're in the middle of construction for number 6, and then we start number 7, and then we're in the middle of high school number 4. This money goes to all of those projects. The other projects down at the bottom, technology infrastructure, safety, security, transportation, campus additions, land, again, instructional technology, and then the administration staff center and the performing arts center. I have to be determined out next to that. This does not determine or dictate what your timing is on that, but it gives you some starter money if you decide to proceed forward. The historical stats here, net taxable value, we've talked about this at length, but let me go through it again. In 2017, 2018, you were at $6.5 billion. 5 years later, you were at $16.4 billion, so roughly $2 billion of growth per year. 23-24, your taxable value was $19.4 billion, so up $3 billion. Net of the $100,000 homestead exemption, your actual growth that you'll see there was $4.3 billion before the additional homestead exemption. So on the second bullet, your 5-year average growth was $2.2 billion, but in 22-23, you grew at $3.5 billion, and then in 23-24, you grew at $4+ billion. If you net out the homestead exemption, it was right at $3 billion. So your growth rate has accelerated in terms of your tax base, which is consistent with the charts that you see in your demographics that show that your growth has accelerated with students. Your INS fund balance at the bottom there is very healthy. 5 years ago, it was at $10 million. Your audit this year is at $19 million. That's up not quite $9 million, $8.5 million. That percentage-wise, that's about 20% of next year's budget. There's no rule that says it has to be 20. 20 is very healthy. At some points, we will want to draw that down potentially to use for the cash flows as we sell and issue bonds. But right now, we don't have a whole lot of plans to use that in the next 12 months. We don't need it for the bond model, and it's at a very healthy level. So the plan of finance, $400 million is what we're asking for your authorization to sell and issue here in February of 2024. I have a placeholder for $350 million twice. That's my number. It's a round number. Total, all three adds up to $1.1 billion. The $350 million, the next installments, will go through the same process we're going through for this one. We'll add to it or subtract from it depending on the needs for construction and the tax base that follows. We'll get a new tax base preliminary in April. We'll get a certified in July. We're selling this $400 million, what you might call blind, into next year's taxable value. But we're comfortable with that because you grew at $4 billion last year. We only sold $250 million, so there is capacity and excess room in there. So of course, we'll keep and maintain the 50 cents to meet the 50 cent test. We use a methodology called Pledge to Tier 1 funds. We never intend to or never will use Tier 1 funds, but it's there as a placeholder to demonstrate a detailed test that we have to go through. 50 cents will be sufficient to make your bond payments. The amortization is 30 years, of course, with the option to prepay in 10 years, again, with provision for amortization in each and every year along that 30-year curve. So we will have more than $10 million of technology amortization in the first couple of years. Use of INS fund balance if necessary. I don't think we're going to need it. No use of bond premium for this sale. We have revenues that are sufficient to sell bonds mid-year. We're in the middle of a fiscal year that begins in September and ends in August. And then the other item on here, hold harmless for additional homestead exemption. We are going to receive state aid for the increase from $40,000 to $100,000 in the homestead exemption. So although I don't have the $4 billion of growth tax base to work with, that net of $4.3 billion that got netted down to $3 billion, I get state aid to go into the bond model. That's the good news. The bad news is that the state is behind in its ability to calculate those numbers with all the data points that we have. We have bond payments in February and August. They're telling us that hold harmless will actually be calculated and demonstrated in the summary of finances and the other templates around April, May, June, so towards the end of our fiscal years. But that's okay. We know how they do it. We can estimate it. You have more than enough fund balance to wait on them to let the smoke clear and to provide you the hold harmless that you're due for the additional homestead exemption. So if you look at just the 400 million, we need approximately 2.25 billion next year to kind of balance that budget. Again, that's below where you grew in the past 2 years. It's on par with the average that you had over the past 5 years. And again, I do a placeholder because you let contracts that go over a 2 to 3 year period. So the staff needs to have an idea of, okay, are we okay with letting a contract to build this middle school or this high school? And the numbers you see there are 350 million for the next 2 installments. It's designed to be flexible so that you can accelerate or decelerate as necessary. We don't just snap our fingers and say, oh, we're going to grow at $4 billion per year and it's indefinite. But we have to do some modeling to give some ideas. And that's where we are with respect to the 3-year model, with the 400 million being the definite one and the 350 million being a guide for where we go from here. What it looks like on a graph, there's 2 arrows there. One shows that by adding the, I guess, turquoise on top is the 400 million. It shows the 2.25 billion be sufficient to make that payment. If you grow at 4 billion, it puts the red bar above anywhere that we'll be, and it'll be a nice start to the 3-year model and give us an idea of if that 350 million is going to be on track or if we need to add to or subtract from on a go-forward basis. Here's what it looks like if you stack all 3 together. Again, the assumption here, and it's just an assumption, it's not a prediction, but in the same concept of we talked about, $1 billion of growth is worth about $100 million of bond capacity. This kind of illustrates that again with $4 billion of growth in 3 years. Again, the time frame, we met with y'all in December post-election. We met with the staff January 5th to talk about the plan of finance. We then met with the detail for the Finance Committee on January 9th. We're here tonight for board action to approve and authorize the issuance of $400 million, delegating authority to the administration to complete that sale. Our target date is February 13th to actually price the bonds. Of course, every time we do that, we have disclosure documents and rating agent reviews that we need to go through to get prepared to enter into the market under securities law. Bond closing be March 13th. That's when the money comes into the construction fund and is invested as you take the time to spend it on the projects that were outlined. April, preliminary certified value, July, certified value. So if the counselor has special anxiety help for those of us that are consultants for you, I could use that, but that's around April, we'll
Well
around
played,
April, we'll
Mr.
be looking at so no, we're really, as I said in the Finance Committee meeting, we're in better shape or as good a shape as we've been in this entire process through the 2007 bond election, the 19 bond election, and the 23. I truly do have less concern today than I did through some of those periods of time of where we are. Doesn't say that something won't shock the system. There's plenty of things out there that can shock markets and so forth. But right now, I feel very comfortable with where we are and where we're headed. So with that, I think there is a motion maybe at your desk if someone would like to make it.
Yeah, there is.
I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Any questions from Mr. Witt while we have him up here right now? And then we'll get into the specific language of a motion.
Yeah, so just for clarity, back a couple of slides, that taxable value needed, the $4 billion needed for the next 3 years would keep us on par with that 350 round number that you were speaking to.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's not 4 billion equals 400 million. I'm backing off of that just a little bit. When we had the billion equals 100 million, we had lower borrowing rates. It's probably closer to a billion equals 100 million, but to be conservative, I'm showing 350 million twice. If we ever get midstream and we have the contracts for this, We do have outs, as they would call it, to where we can structure the bond payments accordingly. But right now, the structure is each value that goes up gives us the bond capacity for just that series. In other words, I don't have a growth model that is leveraging up your future growth for today's bond sale. Today's bond sale is based on last year's growth and the coming up growth. And the next bond sales that come will be based on the value that comes. So from that, we're not overstretching or overutilizing future growth. And again, that just illustrates and proves that 1 billion equals 100 million concept. And if you continue to be a $4 billion growing district, you will continue to be a $350 to $400 million bond issuer.
Right.
If it accelerates, we will be able to accelerate if they need the funding for the facilities. If it decelerates, then we're going to have to make some adjustments as we go. But the bond model is intended to be very flexible for what the future may hold for us.
Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
Are these all going to be fixed rate, or are we going to do fixed and variable?
They are. Right now, the game plan is to sell 400 million traditional fixed rate 30-year bonds with a 10-year optional redemption. Our short-term interest rates are higher compared to our middle and long-term bond rates. So there's not a whole lot of advantage of issuing the variable rate bonds in today's market. We have a small amount of the flexible bonds. You've authorized 50 million twice. Out of this bond portfolio, it's a small amount, but there's enough flexibility in there. So I don't recommend that today is the time to add to that variable rate portion of your portfolio. I think a straight 400 million is the appropriate because of the construct of the yield curve.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Witt.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Finance Committee for meeting with Mr. Witt. I know that y'all took a deep dive on this. Here was last week, I believe, on that. So thank you all for doing that. With that being said, is there a motion before us?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln.
I move that the board adopt an order authorizing the issuance of school building bonds, establishing the parameters for the sale of the bonds, and delegating authority to administration to approve the sale and execute the final documents as presented by administration.
Thank you, Mr. Linker. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Dial. Any further discussion on this? All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor? That is all 7 of us, none opposed. That passes. I know one other thing, Dr. Ferguson and Dr. Bradley, we had talked about there are some Prosper ISD residents that were interested in making a part of Prosper ISD, the bond sale, into their personal portfolios. So we are going to get information out to them on that, how they do that, other than talking with their personal financial advisor. Okay, this is 10B.
Ms. Cease, I believe our financial audit. She's going to give us a rundown.
Good evening. I am here to provide a summary of the 22-23 audit. You should have a copy of that in your packet, and then on January 9th, we did review it with the Finance Committee with our external auditor. So we've took a pretty deep dive into this too. I'm going to start with the general fund. The revenue was $273.9 million. That was up $36.5 million from the previous year. Expenses are $248.9 roughly, up $39.9 from the prior year. We were under budget by $25 million. We did designate, if you remember, during the budget process, we designated $2.5 million to an internal service fund to help with our property insurance premiums. We did have no negative variances, and we did not exceed the amended budget. If you notice at the bottom, there's some audit reference pages that just help if you want to dig into this a little bit more. The general fund balance, there was a net change of 23.5. That did include the 2.5 that went out to internal service. The fund balance as of August 31st is 152.3 roughly. Historically, we have committed $66 million in case we need to do any construction projects out of the general fund. there's a pretty big 1.5 million prepaid items, and that's just making sure that we're getting expenditures. If anything crosses the year, if we have to pay for it early, it has to get in the appropriate year. And with us growing, the materiality of that's just getting bigger and bigger. So that was one of the items that we worked with him on. We did have to assign the 9.8 million for the adopted deficit, but as you know, that's balanced itself now with the student growth. But this is all, again, last year. So the unassigned fund balance is 75 million, which is not excessive. It sounds a lot, but it's really not that excessive. It's about 3 to 4 months, which the auditor was happy with. It equals about 110 days of operating expenses, which the first report requires 75 days. And I'm sorry, it's important. Wow, I don't know what I'm doing here. Sorry.
Meeting over.
Sorry. I thought I was clicking back. Okay, I apologize. This is important because of the fast growth allotment. It's not guaranteed, and in fact, right now it's prorated, and that can change at any time. So because we're getting so much of that, it is important for us to keep that in mind. And then we're opening all these campuses, and we need cash flow, and it's remaining consistent with the past years as a percentage as well. The debt service, the revenue is 86.4 million. The expenditures are 136.9, but that does include the 52 million that was a remarketing. That's basically an accounting in and out entry. So the expenses net of that remarketing were 84.8. So we net change for the fund balance was 3.2 million. And the fund balance as of August 31st was 19.2. So as Mr. Witt said, that's really healthy, and that's really good for what we're looking at. Property value and tax collections, historically that M&O is decreasing because of the tax compression. We had this audit was based on the 16.3 billion property value. That was up 3.6 from the year before. We had 3.1 in delinquent taxes, but the auditor was extremely impressed with our delinquent taxes for 2023. It's like right around 550,000. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that either. And then the tax collection rate is really, he made a lot of comments about how impressed he was. I don't think he's ever seen that before. So, and then just the schedules in the audit, if you've had a chance to look at it, the main ones that we look at are C1 and C3, and then there's an Exhibit H1 towards the back. And so on the C1 and C3, that's like a balance sheet and then a statement of revenues, expenditures, and fund balance. And one of the columns you see is other funds. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what that is. The Exhibit H1 in the back breaks this out. But with federal funds, we don't have a fund balance other than student nutrition. So we spend what we receive, and we can't exceed our award. Food service cannot exceed 3 months of operating expenses. The fund balance with that is 1.9. 3 months would be approximately 2.6. So we can still see like a profit this year. But if we get close to that, we have to have a spending plan. So the audit as of 8/31/2023, there were no material weaknesses or deficiencies. We received an unmodified opinion, which means it's a clean audit. There are no audit findings. And then one of the other things that we're working on is an annual financial comprehensive report. And that's just, as it says, it's more comprehensive. It's like a 10-year history. It's a really good tool for us for analysis. And it allows us to apply for some of the like GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, and then there's a national equivalent to that we'll probably submit for. And I just want to say there's no way that would be possible if we didn't have our communications department, because they have a lot of information for us and they help us make it really pretty. And so it probably wouldn't have been possible this year without them. So I just want to thank them. Also want to thank the district as a whole, because this says a lot for our whole district. And then, the support that you give us. I just can't be prouder to work here after this tonight. It's awesome. And then also, last but not least, my team. I think it's been a tough year with the ERP transition, and then opening all the schools, which it's a tough year for all of us. But this evening was like confirmation of how blessed we are to be here. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very
We
much.
are going to have to ask for your approval on this.
Congrats on a clean audit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
I was going to ask, with that, the food fund, with all those things you get from your student advisory councils about the additional food they want, maybe we could use some of that for.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's see here. We are on 10B. We just went through that. Thank you again to the Finance Subcommittee that met on this last week and again on the deep dive of that. Hearing that, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I move that the board accept the 2022-23 annual financial audit as presented by the administration.
Thank you, Mr. Cavender. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Dixon. Okay, any discussion on this? Any other comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? That is all 7 of us, none opposed. That passes as well. All right, that takes us to
Superintendent
Ferguson.
report. Yes, so had a great lunch with our HR team, very deserving team to be able to sit down and visit with. You might notice I'm dressed as though I'm some type of Western bandit, but I'd been at Baker Elementary that morning at 8 a.m. serving chili to kindergartners, and they didn't like it. So I had to explain to the HR team what was going on. So they got a good laugh out of it. We had a great lunch together. The floral design, our students made the floral arrangements, and so they were able to take those with them if they won during the lunch. And so being able to connect with our people is a huge asset and certainly time well spent. Thank you to the Prosper Education Foundation for making sure that these lunches and then suppers with our leaders are happening across the district, because it gives me a chance to learn a little bit about our people as we continue to grow to soon to be over 4,000 employees. And then next, well, this is where it got interesting with our suggestions on what needed to happen in lunch. I was in my element as a former elementary teacher and elementary principal. I had so much fun. I do want you to note the one young man who wore a suit. He was not the only young man who wore a suit jacket to the Superintendent Advisory Council. There were multiple, and such a great group of students from across the district, and truly gave us some really good feedback. We had a great time sitting there. One of the assistant principals who came over with some of the students said that there was a student I was sitting by, and he goes, "So, that's your boss?" And she was like, "I mean, ultimately, yes." And he goes, "I ate lunch with her. She seems okay." So, I mean, I guess it's a stamp of approval, so I'll take it. They did give us suggestions for Monday through Friday lunch options, so I really do appreciate that feedback. Well, you're in Prosper when they ask for steak on Thursday. So it was a great time, great feedback, and certainly love being able to connect with our students at this level. And then last week, many of you were in attendance, but we did the State of the District with a partnership between the town of Prosper and Prosper ISD, and really being able to give the community an update on all of the amazing things that are happening within our district and what we provide to our students. You can see that our JROTC was there to present the colors. Our Rock Hill Choir sang the national anthem, and so those are always great moments to be able to really set the stage for talking about all the great things that our students are doing. So my favorite topic outside of my family is what I told the audience, and it is truly my favorite topic. So Prosper ISD is a great thing to talk about because there's amazing things going on in this district, truly miracles each and every day.
Well, and I want to say thank you. You did such a phenomenal job, as always, speaking to the group and raising up all the things going on in the district.
Well, you all make it possible, so thank you so much.
Mayor Bristol did ask me, he said, "Hey, let's make for sure again that next year I go before Dr. Ferguson because he hates speaking after you." So we'll have
He
to-
did a great job.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, we will now go into, enter into closed session according to Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Sections 071, 072, 074, and 076. Thank you all very much for coming. Is now 11:06 p.m. We are back from executive session. A couple quick things to do. I have three different items here. First one, is there a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion. I move that the board approve the hiring of contract personnel as presented by the administration.
Thank you, Mr. Van Wolf. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Linker. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? That is all seven of us. Moving on to the next item, is there a motion?
Yes, I make a motion. I move that the board approve the hiring, I move that the board approve the superintendent evaluation.
Thank you, Mrs. Dixon. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Cavender. Discussion? All right, all in favor? That is all seven of us as well. And then the final thing that we have on here this evening, is there a motion?
I move that the board approve the new contract for our superintendent, Dr. Holly Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr. Dial. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Van Wolf. Discussion? All right, all in favor? That is all seven of us. That concludes our meeting this evening at 11:07 p.m. Thank you very much for joining us.